Hi musicians, my name is Mrs. Moore and I'm the music teacher at Clearwater Creek, and I know your music teacher really well. Today I'm going to read to you a story called This Is the Dream by Diane Z. Shore and Jessica Alexander, illustrated by James Ransom. This book is talking to you about Martin Luther King, but also about the Civil Rights Movement. I'm going to read the story and tell you parts of the story of my dad who lived during the Civil Rights Movement. It was an army without guns, but not without strength. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., 1964. This is the dream. These are the fountains that stand in the square, and the black and white signs say who will drink where. Do you notice this says white and this says colored? So my dad, as a little boy living in the South, he could only drink out of the colored fountain because of the color of his skin. These are the buses. A dime bides a ride, but the people are sorted by color inside. Do you notice here that white people or Caucasians could sit toward the front? If another person needed a seat that was of white or Caucasian descent, one of these African American or black people had to get up or stand and give their seat up. These are the restaurants where whites only eat, at tables up front and at lunch counter seats. So if my dad or my grandparents wanted to order something that was from a restaurant, they had to order from the back door and pick it up from there. They couldn't go inside the restaurant and sit and eat as a family. These are the libraries, two separate sections with separate bookcases and separate selections. So if you notice here, this library has a whole lot of books available for people of Caucasian descent to be able to check out. On this side, there wasn't as many books, or the books were ratted or tattered up. But they still had the opportunity to read, which was awesome, because reading is important. These are the doors that are closed in the schools, and separate but equal is not just a rule, but a law that's enforced on buses and trains, and in theaters and restrooms and department store chains, in libraries, hospitals, all public places, dividing up people by colors and races, with harsh written words that are slapped on the wall, denying both freedom and justice for all. So when my dad grew up, he went to a school where all the people looked like him. His teacher was African American, the students were African American or black, and then where people of Caucasian descent or white descent, they all went to school together. So anybody that was non-Caucasian or non-white had to go to a school that was colored, so of people that were, their skin color was not the same as Caucasian or white people. These are the students who step through the doors where people of color have not walked before. So these students here were the first students to integrate a school. Well, that happened to my dad. My dad was one of the first people to integrate a school, his college, when he started college. His older sister had to go to an all-black school, or what we call historically black colleges or university, but my dad was one of the first to go to a school that had majority white people or majority Caucasian people. These are the passengers on weary feet, walking until they could choose their own seat. This is what we called the Montgomery bus boycott, where for over a year, people of color stopped riding the buses where they could get the equal right to be able to sit wherever they wanted to sit. These are the diners who sit and who wait at the white-only counters, ignoring the hate. And I want you to notice, it's not just people of color there's also many white people or many Caucasians who also fought for civil rights, for things to be equal among all people. It's not very nice what the people were doing to them, but it made a huge difference of how the world is today. These are the marchers who forged through the streets as they carried their message through the shimmering heat. If you notice some of their signs, it said free to vote or freedom. Here's Dr. Martin Luther King right here. He was walking with the boycott, where we can all be free. These are the leaders whose powerful voices lift up the marchers, demanding new choices for fair-paying jobs and a good education, to vote without fear, and to live in a nation where everyone's equaled and judged from within, never jailed or arrested because of the color of their skin, fighting firm without fist, sitting down, standing tall, pressing onward toward freedom and justice for all. You have Ella Baker, Walter White, Thurgood Marshall, and Dr. Martin Luther King, just to name a few people that were fighting for freedom and justice for all people, regardless of the color of their skin. These are the fountains that stand in the square, and the unwritten rule is to take turns and share. You see how that goes? That's how we do things at school. We share, we wait our turn. These are the bus. This is the bus that roars through the streets, and all of the passengers choose their own seats. If you ride a bus today, you more than likely can choose who you sit by. You don't have to just sit, you can sit anywhere. You don't have to sit necessarily in an assigned spot. Anybody can stand now. This is the restaurant where up in front, the black and white sign says, "Open for lunch." Here, everybody is eating together. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be friends with anyone. This is the library, books wall to wall, free to be read, not by some, but by all. We have a library at our school, and I know you probably have one at your school, and anybody can check out their books in the library, the school library and the public libraries. This is a school where the doors open wide and the children are learning together inside about students and marchers and leaders who fought to make right what was wrong. Without violence, they sought to make changes together, establish new laws. With many small triumphs, they strengthened their cause as they sat at the counters and rode through the stations and gathered up hands as they marched through the nations. With courage they railed and answered the call, dreaming of freedom and justice for all. In most classrooms now, boys and girls, you have all types of people of all different shades, all different colors, people that have different religions. It's a place that everyone is open and welcome. And that is what the Civil Rights did for us. We all have freedom and justice for all. We're still working on things, but it is a much, much better place. I hope you enjoyed my story. Bye.